We're back.
Hey.
Sexy lady. Sorry.
Hey.
Are you sure you want to commit to this? Yes, I'm absolutely sure. I'm confident in his abilities. Twilight Sparkle looked confidently into the princess's eyes. In all of her years following Celestia, she had never been this willing in her life. That sounds like a really weird sexual tension thing.
Jesus.
She stood her ground before her teacher, who was sitting sternly in her massive throne. In her massive throne. On her massive throne, it should be, surely.
The Empress sits upon her golden throne.
She clipped through the massive throne. It was a horrible clipping error. While Twilight was almost like a daughter to her, this was a serious discussion, and they treated it as such. Overreaction. Celestia fidgeted in her chair as she thought the plan over.
So yeah, by the way, no, reward for guessing who they're talking about in terms of, I've never been more committed to anything in my life. I'm absolutely sure about his abilities.
It's Phil McCocken, or whatever his name was. Ethan McCocken.
Auckland.
What?
I don't know.
Jishawkin.
Was an actor.
McClellan.
This is normal.
No, yes, this is not normal for a ponification camp, Normally
just shove people into these big rooms and we drop it. I mean, we're
not
Nazis.
be anyone. Normally they have to spend another week there to learn how to be a pony, even after the transformation. Why do you want to pull this unicorn out so soon? Oh no, it's Billy Bob, or whatever his name was.
Oh yeah, it's Billy Bob Joe Thornton. Spoilers, the other guy's involved as well.
Yeah. I think he's much more in touch with his magic than most unicorns. I've seen unicorns I've seen go through this camp. Yeah, he opened a door once. He can already move objects and control the strength of the magic used. Well, he couldn't. He slammed the door open. It was hardly control. To an extent. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I think I should take him, for lack of a better saying, under my wing. Because we could use him to our advantage. Jesus, they're all bloody, corrupt people, gonna use this guy. Princess Celestia thought for a minute, then surrendered. Alright, you can bring him, but what about the other ones? Surely you don't want him to come here as a human, do you? Oh no, I have plans for him, you'll see, Twilight responded.
Oh my god.
I hope you know, I don't like it when you hide things from me, Celestia replied sternly. I don't know why I pronounced the comma there. Don't worry, Princess, my intentions are anything but bad. It's just I haven't really planned what to do with him yet, Twilight said, embarrassed at her lack of organisation. I'm so embarrassed because I didn't organise earlier. Well, be sure to get him here safely. We don't want any humans running around Equestria willy-nilly like this. Make sure he's a pony when the time comes for him to be, of course.
Okay, as sinister as that sounds, wasn't it established before that being in Equestria as a human was lethal doses of radiation?
Holy
wouldn't
shit.
he just be dead?
Yeah.
Either Celestia is being really stupidly redundant and basically going I don't want him running around as a human because then his skin will all fall off.
Yeah.
Or they're lying and they're just no, there's no actual danger. We're just trying to force the issue.
Oh, if that was the case, but then no, that couldn't be right because the people have died already, so it would have to be.
Well, that might just be from the diseases and stuff that the ponies were spreading. I mean, they did say
True.
that the person's oh yeah, no, we're perfect. We don't have illnesses. These super flus are not derived from us.
Surely, if anything, the humans would just give foot and mouth disease to all the ponies, and if anything, the ponies would die out more. If they just popped up on Earth, we've lived here a lot longer, and therefore all of the diseases that we have, we're immune or have more immunity to.
They both be spraying around to each other, but it's the same thing with the Europeans and the Native Americans. Because of the fact that Native American, for the very reasons the ponies are shown as being better in this, they would actually suffer worse. Because the thing is, the way to become immune to diseases is to be in tightly packed, badly polluted areas that constantly bombard you with nasty plagues that you're built up a strong immune system to. The humans should have a stronger immune system than the ponies by virtue of the fact that we live in shit in a shittier situation than them.
That's what I was thinking. It's basically like War of the Worlds, when the way the aliens are killed in that. They're not used to all of the antigens.
It's actually kind of amusing. It's like, all the things that normally make our lifestyles shitty and unhealthy actually make us significantly better adapted for surviving, super plagues than, people who are living healthy lifestyles. Objectively healthier lifestyles.
Yeah, that actually makes me feel better in a way. Not really, but it means that if it comes to it, someone else.
If the Aztecs decide to take some revenge, we will be okay.
Yeah, the plague will take them, not me. But yeah.
Between this and all the Nazi stuff, we were really coming off as horrible human beings.
Yeah.
Or regular human beings, am I right? Chechnya?
Yeah.
Whatever the hell her name is.
Stop calling her Chechnya. It's I've forgotten it now. Chatians. That's it. Chatians. Stop Chechnya.
Anyway, continue.
Chernobyl. Anything that begins with a ch. Actually, no, she doesn't like nuclear power. So, Ethan couldn't help but be a little sad. He knew this was a good thing for Barry. By the way, when Barry dies in this story, do you know what they do to him?
What?
They bury him. Chemistry joke. And to an extent, Earth, but he couldn't shake the fact he'll never see human Barry again. There were certain things in his mind that made human Barry, we keep calling him human Barry, unique, that they can't replicate in a pony, like the arms. Barry's choice in clothing, for instance. Last year, Barry was infamous for going to the prom in nothing but gym shorts and a Led Zeppelin t-shirt. His girlfriend was mortified, to say the least. However, Ethan had to embrace this new look for Barry, and he was glad that at least he kept his personality.
By the way, they're still not gay. He's longingly thinking about, how he'll miss all these aspects of his friend. Will be forever lost. His arms, his fashion sense.
It's not in a homoerotic way.
They bro hug, and he's totally into chicks.
Yeah.
For realsies, he's got a strong case of the not gays.
It wouldn't be bad at all. It's not bad, but it's the fact that they specifically had to have a man hug after he's been constantly talking about all of this.
Yeah, it'd be like, okay, the character's gay, that's cool. But no, it says no, he's not gay. He's really not gay. But
they just have a very strong bromance that borders on homoerotic tendencies.
Incredibly homoerotic bromance that is not gay.
At dinner that afternoon, Barry sat next to Ethan at their usual table closest to the garbage can. Because human beings are trash. Barry visibly had some difficulty sitting in his new quadrupedal form, but an earth pony next to him helped him to sit up straight. It looked awkward at first, but Barry seemed to get more comfortable as time went on.
Seems horrible.
Yeah. Spines don't bend that way, a quote from the Simpsons game.
Yes. Yes.
First pony meal, you ready? Ethan teased Barry, who was staring nervously at the hay fries before him. Barry gulped loudly and silently lifted the bundle of hay with his magic, moving it towards his mouth. Barry took a small nibble, just enough to get the taste of it. Suddenly Barry's eyes widened. Why? Barry said, shaking in his seat. Barry, you're right. Why do I like this so much? And Barry kept eating the hay, visibly enjoying it. Ethan gagged a bit and resumed eating his beef jerky.
What? It's like, okay, I get the fact that they need human food for them to eat, but why is he eating beef jerky? It's like, okay, you gotta turn into a horse pretty soon. So why don't you eat some, cow? Why don't you eat something that's in the same family as the creature you're going to turn into?
Because that'll go down brilliantly in your digestive system when you're halfway through changing and you realise that an hour beforehand you were still digesting a piece of steak.
Yeah, I'm just imagining the reverse version where ponies go to this place and after their last meal's ponies they're given heaping trays of monkey. It's like, eat up your gorilla, you're gonna be turned into a human soon, and then you're just not gonna want to eat it anymore.
Gorilla.
Oh, the ponies their jimmies would be so rustled.
So rustled. I mean, to be fair, I don't know why people assume that the ponies are going to be so much better. They have a sense of corruption just like humans do. They're not perfect. Luna didn't go on a 1,000-year holiday, did she? I've just thought about that. Like, everyone always makes it out like, oh, the ponies, they're so good.
I've seen some versions of these stories. I'm just kidding. You want calling her Chechnya. I'm sorry to the people of Chechnya. You're nowhere near as awful as this person, but
Wow.
Seansny, Chechnya, whatever the hell her name is.
Yans. Jesus Christ.
Yans. I read some of the comment sections for her stories and some of her shorter stories, and like, there are so many people in those comment sections who are just like, God, what's everyone's problem? Humans are so awful. Free will is overrated. We should, force out the thing. Like, the illusion of goodness is, the illusion that free will is good and that, you can't have good people without, bad is just wrong. Those are like, Equestria is perfect. You just have to ignore Luna, the Diamond Dogs, the Fin Flam Brothers, etc., etc. Like, they actually will say that. It'll be like, you just have to ignore all the bad elements.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. The human race is a brilliant place. You just have to ignore all the murder and bloodshed that goes on overseas.
Yeah, perfect.
See, the human race is great. What are you on about?
Amazing. We are the best.
You can't ever use that as an argument. Like, well, it is an amazing place. You just have to ignore all the corruption, because you can use that argument in the reverse, and it works just as valid if we're using their form of justification.
Yep. Okay, so let's push on through the other side.
Where the hell are we? The loudspeaker turned on with a start and caught the attention of the entire lunchroom. Humans and ponies stared up at the speaker near the doorway to wait for its message. Howdy there, everyone. Let's guess who this character is going to be talking down the microphone. The speaker began in a noticeable southern drawl. Well, there we go. Now, how does Pinky do this again? Oh, right. Can Ethan McNugget please come to the pony transformification room? Pony transformification room.
Science!
Let's make up words, children.
Bounce a proton particle beam off the main deflector dish.
Pony transmorphification room. I think it's your turn or something. Thanks. Wow. Brilliant announcement there from Applejack. Barry elbowed Ethan as hard as he could with his right hoof, breaking multiple ribs as he did so.
Hooves are not elbows. It's a leg.
Oh, actually, that's a point. How the hell did you... He has no elbows.
He has an elbow, but it's one, it's at the wrong angle, and two, you can do it, but it wouldn't be with the front hoof. It would be with the front leg.
Well, that's what I was thinking. There's a lot wrong with that sentence.
It'd be like saying, I elbowed you with my hand.
Okay. Where the hell are we? Ethan was frozen for at least 30 seconds.
You counted.
At least 30 seconds, possibly more. Before slowly getting up, every single thing with eyes was using them to stare right at Ethan at that moment. It was as if
Ethan I thought you were making a joke there.
What?
Every single thing with eyes was using them to stare right at Ethan at that moment. The hell? Are there worms standing around just not paying attention
blindly,
to him?
Like, I can hear the noise of Ethan walking. Let's turn and face him.
There's like fucking like cats that are like staring at him. There's like a wall-mounted clock with like the cat eyes. A little cat wall-mounted clock that's staring at him. Like, the hell is that supposed to mean?
There's a there's a painting on the wall, and the eyes have turned to face him.
I'm just imagining like every thing that has eyes, that could possibly have eyes, staring at him. While a bunch of eyeless things just sort of go about their meal. It's such weird phrasing. All right, continue.
It's very weird phrasing. It was as if Ethan were naked right now. It was his worst nightmare. Why was there no cheering?
Because they hate him.
It was like, okay, yeah, Barry, yeah, Phil, Ethan, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Usually these announcements are made in the mornings, and for one to happen this late is very odd. Oh, that explains it. Ethan.
Yeah, but it's like, oh shit, it's odd. Well, fuck him then. We're not gonna cheer for you.
So as to avoid any more unnecessary attention. Yeah, that's a bit weird. The lunchroom's conversations started up again as soon as he left. Every
it's not even that they're like, oh shit, we're stunned, kind of startled. It's gonna take us a second to start clapping. It's like, wait, what the hell was that? Stare,
oh, he's gone.
judge. Okay, he's gone. Anyway, so
Yeah.
lunch.
Yeah.
You know, it's
As
alright.
I was saying, okay, everyone and every pony was staring at Ethan as he walked down the empty hallways and into the atrium, where the small, unnoticeable door to the ponification room was visible next to the receptionist's desk. The door was labelled "Authorized Personnel Only." Ethan could only assume he was authorized enough to go in, so he did. Because, you know, if he wasn't authorized.
Yes.
On the immediate other side of the door was a bright pink earth pony with an equally pink curly mane. She seemed to have a perpetual smile on her face. "Shush, this way," she whispered. Ethan could recognize the voice from somewhere, but he couldn't put his finger on it. Oh, I don't know, maybe it was the announcer the day before. As they
The other's not being clever.
Yeah. As they walked down the dark, claustrophobic hallway, Ethan got more and more curious as to what was going to happen. He had already come to terms with the fact that these will be his last moments as a human. What is with the change in tense?
I don't know.
He came to terms with the fact that these will be his, I don't know, last moments as a human, but he still needed some reassurance that he'll be safe and it won't be a risky procedure. He began, almost sounding like Fluttershy. "I said shush, we have to be quiet," the pink pony replied immediately, startling Ethan. "Can you at least tell me where we're going?" Ethan persisted. "To the pony room, silly. Where else would we be going?" Ethan soon realised she was right. The pony pushed open the knobless door. So there was only one door in the facility that actually had a knob then, and that was the one that the guy opened with his magic.
Yep. Because they installed it for plot relevance.
Yeah. The pony pushed open the knobless door to reveal what looked eerily like a doctor's office. There was a small cushioned bench with sterile paper on it and a desk opposite the bench with numerous doctors. Oh, God.
Oh god.
So wait. So, just to quickly confirm this, he's gone from a waiting room to another waiting room.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so with numerous doctors' accoutrements,
Accoutrements.
accoutrements laid out in a very neat fashion. A pony-sized, clean doctor's robe was draped on the hanger on the door. The silence in the room was ominous. "Wait here," the pony said, sounding like she was in some sort of infiltration mission. Ethan obeyed and sat quietly on the bench. Thankfully, it wasn't long before the doctor came from the door next to the desk. What is it with doors next to desks? The receptionist desk had the door that he went through just now, and then there's another door next to the desk. The doctor was a unicorn mare with flowing violet blue hair and a light grey coat. Wait, violet blue...
What?
Who is that?
That isn't...
I'm
Wait,
guessing
look
it's
ahead.
violet
What?
and blue.
What? That's retarded. I'm sorry, that's an exceptional individual. That's ridiculous.
Okay.
What? All right,
She
the
look-
description of her hair. Just get to it. We'll see who the character is in a second, and it's a horrible description of her hair because no. What?
She looked very well groomed and clean. Wait, there's no way she's a doctor.
One, apparently yes, and two, apparently she has blue hair.
Alright, at first I thought it was DJ Punter. I was like, what the f... It's the wrong person completely. Why would she be a doctor? Anyway, right,
much
let's
better.
get this over with. I have a salon appointment at 7 that I simply cannot miss. Wow, that's a lot of confidence in your doctor if they're rushing it through to go to a salon appointment. Before Ethan could speak, the pony continued. "I'm Rarity, and I will be your ponificator for today. Are you feeling any stress at the moment?" No shit, of course I'm feeling stress at the moment. No.
So yeah, apparently Rarity is a doctor. By the way, I don't know what's stupider: the fact that Rarity is a doctor, or the fact that Rarity is, so stereotypical in this that she's like, "Oh yes, I'm going to turn this person into a pony, but I want to rush it along because I need to get back to the spa.
It's like, you're a doctor. Even if you're not doing it to save the patient's life, you're probably, if you're a doctor, being paid a crap load of money. Doing your job properly.
Like, they've managed to make her at once more, like, book smart intelligent than she should be, and also making her way more shallow and stupid than, she should be.
It's the fact that she's a dressmaker.
How is that possible?
She's a dressmaker.
And
Why
she's not
would
that
she be
self-centered.
A doctor? Yeah.
Again, they made her at once smarter and also stupider than she should be at the same time.
Ethan, taking the cue, started talking. No, I'm a little nervous, but... Oh, darling, that's normal. There's nothing to worry about. This will be quick and painless. Relatively. I included that in there. And it'll be over before you can say fabulous, because you'll be knocked out.
It's the word that she used in the show.
That she uses. Rarity laughed at her own joke. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of that in this story.
It's actually in episode 10 of N10 we were talking with Claudius guys, and we were actually talking about the fact that, like, this is one of the stupider things that bad fanfiction writers do. Just throw in words from the show and just go like, see, I'm referencing the show.
Guys, look what I did. Laughed at her own joke, then began to use her magic to summon some doctor's tools to her side. She began looking into Ethan's eyes, ears, mouth, and oddly enough, his nose with a light, and started making awkward small talk.
So anyway, when the patient woke up, his skeleton was missing and replaced with a dress. Anyway, that's how I lost my medical license.
It's like those awkward, not that I've been in this situation, I have to say, but it's like those awkward prostate examinations that people talk about. It's like the doctor, while giving an examination of that kind, then starts up small talk with the person. So, how's the weather been? While he's got his hand up your ass. Nothing makes an anal probing better than having small talk with the guy doing it.
Yeah.
Anyway, oh no, sorry. So you're being ponificated awfully late. I would have thought ponify would have been a better way of saying it, but any idea why, Ethan? Well, no, I was just called down here during dinner. I thought these things usually happen in the mornings. They do. I'm not even sure myself why you're here. Very unorganised set of staff we have. No one knows what the hell's going on. But alas, here you are. Rarity put the tools down and retrieved a paper cup filled with a purple viscous liquid and a syringe. Lovely.
Yay.
Why purple?
Cause shut up.
Shut up.
Alright.
So yes, purple viscous liquid in a syringe. Ethan cringed at the sight of the needle, as he was deathly afraid of them. Know that feel, bruh.
Bro, that feel, I know it.
Yeah.
Finish the paragraph, we're almost there.
So close now. Yes. Viscous. I scrolled down, I've lost the place. There we go. He could already feel... Oh, wait, no. Oh, I'm so lost. Rarity got uncomfortably close to Ethan. All right, now lay down on the bench and drink this, she said, handing him the cup gently. What is it? It's a sedative to help you sleep. Think of it as anesthesia in a cup. Okay.
Considering the fact that anesthetics can, be delivered through a number of different methods.
Yeah.
Thinking of it as anesthesia in a cup is stupid. It is an anesthetic in a cup.
I was watching something helicopter heroes, I think it's called. Basically, it's the air ambulance, and some soldier, while out on practices, hurt himself, and because he didn't like needles, they gave him a liquid form of it was like morphine or something. It's not that uncommon because a lot of people don't like needles.
Whatever. It's stupid. We're almost done though. Keep going. The best is in the last chapter.
Great. It will make the whole process so much easier for the both of us. Trust me. That's not ominous at all. Ethan nervously took a gulp of the liquid. It tasted like grape jelly and was about as goopy, but he soon emptied the cup. He could already feel the sedative kicking in as he set the cup down on the table nearby and laid his head on the bench. Rarity walked up to him and lightly prodded the needle into his upper arm. Ethan didn't feel a thing, and a few seconds later he was unconscious. So what exactly did the needle do, and what exactly did the sedative do? Now, what was in the
sedative put him under so that he could put him under with the needle, obviously.
So she could stop his heart with an overdose of sedative.
That's the thing. They basically just kill you, take out your brain, plop it into a dead pony.
Yeah, seems legit. He was unconscious. Chapter 5, in which something else happens. Jesus Christ, the names of these chapters are...
I am terrible at names. I'm bad at coming with chapter names. I do better than this, consistently.
In which something else happens. Even if you were joking, that's a bad name.
That's bad for a parody, and like this isn't a parody.
Grass. He was lying on grass, in grass. Again, a clipping error. So I'm going to keep making that joke. He could feel the cold, damp dirt on his back, and his face was being tickled by the soft breeze. Sounds like one of my Japanese anime.
Oh, it's an anime.
Sorry, it just did. Ethan opened his eyes to nothing, realizing it was the dead of night, and he was still human. What?
No, that was a failure.
What had happened? He had no idea what. All he knew was that he wasn't a pony, and he was nowhere near the camp. He rose to investigate. There was a highway nearby with cars zipping past. The once soft breeze now felt a lot stronger when Ethan stood on his 2 feet, and he almost fell a few times while trying to walk. This sedative Rarity had given him was probably still affecting his movement, he suspected, and walked deeper into the grass. How deep is the grass?
It's infinitely deep.
It just, like, the grass gets, like, progressively taller until it's like tree-sized flakes of grass.
Just keep going. We're about to hit the stupid.
As he plunged deeper into the grass, Ethan could hear voices echoing. He wasn't totally sure whose voices they were, but they sounded familiar. They were calling his name, but not in the cliché, mysterious, spooky ghost-sounding way, in an urgent, rushed, and even scared way. Ethan felt like he needed to come after these voices. They grew louder as he ran deeper into the now waist-high grass. Oh, it was getting tough. Ethan, wake up. Ethan felt a hard slap to his face. Whoosh! As he woke up from the dream. His eyes shot open and he looked around. He was in a huge library, with books lining every wall, and the ceilings reaching higher than any library he had ever seen. A familiar purple pony was looking at him, annoyed but worried.
Oh, Twilight is basically just a total bitch. It's like, hey, we just changed you into a different species, and you're been, drugged out, the ears. Why the hell aren't you awake yet?
Wake the fuck up! Just like slapping him constantly. That's such a horrible thing to do. So that's like if someone gets out of an operation and they've like been under for ages and they've had like complete transplant of something, and then the way you wake them up is go and slap them and shout at them because they haven't woken up yet.
Yeah.
A familiar pony was looking at me annoyed but worried. Oh, thanks Celestia, you're awake, Toilette said, relieved that Ethan was alive. Why did they take him out of the hospital room if he wasn't awake yet?
Because that's
stupid idea.
You just drag up unconscious people. Also because the author can't write transitions, so...
Yeah, it does help. The unicorn trotted to her desk across the expansive main room. What? Where am I, Twilight? Ethan mumbled. His voice sounded slurred, as if he'd had one too many. No, as if he had been on Novocaine. Novocaine from the dentist's office. Yeah. Well, if he's just been anaesthetised, then that's basically what's just happened, so...
But if you're stupid, you don't realize that anesthetization, after explaining what anesthetization does, you still need some sort of easier, means of relating it to something in your own experience.
It's like, now I'm no anaesthetist, but I realise that the drugs that they use at the dentist's office are probably similar in effect to the ones that they use at the doctor's surgery.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
Where the hell am I again? I keep losing my place.
That's why you need to be careful.
You're in... Oh, there it is. From the dentist's office. You're in my library. I've brought you to Equestria. After hearing that, Ethan drew his own conclusions as to what happened to him. He struggled to raise his head and look at the body that he now had. He had a light navy blue coat with a blonde tail to match his mane. Again, his mane was almost identical to his hair as a human, and had kept its light blonde hue. Did we even know what colour hair he had until just now? The next thing he noticed was his wings, which opened at Ethan's will as he stared at them, mesmerised. Oh yeah, because, when you get an extra set of muscles and tendons, you know instantly how to use them.
Yeah.
Twilight walked back to the bed Ethan was laying on and started poking him in different random places. Well, the ponification seems to have worked like a charm, Twilight said astutely. Well, you'd expect it to after you've done it to like 100 different people.
I love the fact that she pointed out astutely. It's like, yes, he's a pony. He's been laying unconscious on your floor for an unknown period of time. Now that he is awake, you can figure out astutely that it seems to have worked.
That's like, you're trying to demolish a building or something like that, and you've blown a massive hole in the ground from the amount of explosive you used, and someone comes over with a clipboard and very astutely says, yes, that seems to have worked. Like, no shit, it's worked.
Yeah, I'm just imagining like a Star Trek story version of this where it's like, like just this guy gets, pancaked by like a giant rock, and Bones walks over and like sticks fingers into his gooey remains, and looks over at Kirk, and the writer puts in, "He's dead, Jim." Bones, proclaimed astutely.
Yeah.
Notice astutely.
It's true. It's like, there's no need. It's clearly, obviously, he is. It's like it's crappy small talk at best. Why am I here? Shouldn't I be back at the camp or something? I'll explain in a minute. I need to wait for the others to get here, she responded. Twilight sounded a little rushed at this point, as if she really didn't want to talk right now, despite her instigating conversation by saying the ponification spell seems to have worked, or spell. Yeah. Ethan could faintly hear snoring in another room, but he paid no attention to it, assuming it was another roomie of Twilight's. He got up slowly, landing on his stomach in the process. He put one hoof on the ground, then another. Soon he was standing, albeit very rigidly, afraid to move. The standing was very easy to get used to, and Ethan compared it to learning to skate or ride a bike in his head. Walking was a different story. Having 4 legs to worry about now was the biggest difficulty, and he sometimes forgot to move one of the legs the first few steps he took. However, learning to walk was a breeze after a few minutes of pacing around the library.
It is related to riding a bike or skating, and this dude is like the fastest goddamn learner in the universe.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, like, how long does it take babies to learn to walk?
Like, we're going to assume that they can do it a lot faster because if we're going to...
they'll be able to do it faster because...
the thing is, doing it faster is fine, but like, doing it over the course of a couple of days. Hell, do it over the course of a day. But this guy basically gets up and after a couple of minutes, he's like, okay, I'm good.
Well, the thing is that even people who haven't had their genetics modified, people who've, like, had accidents where, like, their leg doesn't work anymore, or they're either using a prosthetic one or they're learning to walk again, it can take ages with a lot of therapy.
Like, yeah, okay, again, we're going to assume that we're going with like sped up time, like like cartoon logic and stuff. Like, that's fine. If you want to do that, that's fine. But here's the thing: even if you're going with that, you don't set this up as like a big thing. Like, man, it's gonna be difficult. Like he's having all these problems, and then just say, oh yeah, but after a few minutes, he's fine.
Yeah.
It's like either he's fine right off the bat, or you make it a bit of a challenge. You don't just say, okay, it's a huge challenge for a couple of minutes, and that's
which he conquered instantly. Isn't there a story which really handles well the conversion between someone changing? Was there a story that was like that?
I'm sure there's plenty.
Yeah, I thought someone said there was a good one.
Yeah, there's lots of Conversion Bureau stories, and I'm sure most of them are pretty good. There's like, like written by other authors who spun off of this.
Yeah.
Chedaransky, whatever the hell her name is kind of a psycho, and there are definitely some bad ones on both sides, but the whole... like subgenre of Conversion Bureau stories aren't inherently bad.
Yeah.
But anyway, for now.
Ethan could faintly hear snoring in the other room. He got up slowly, landing on his stomach.
I looked back at Ethan.
Walking was a different story. Twilight looked back at Ethan and noticed he was finally walking. She nodded with approval. Don't try flying yet. I don't want you knocking over any books Spike just cleaned up, she warned him before returning to the big book laid out on her desk. Ethan kind of distraught that he can't fly yet. See, that's what I'm saying, that there's a change in tense again. It was laid out on her desk, and now he's annoyed that he can't fly yet at the moment.
Yeah.
Sure, am I just being unreasonable, or is that a weird tense?
It's kind of a weird tense.
Resumed walking around the library. Suddenly, Ethan and Twilight heard a light tapping on the door, much too quiet to be a knock. If it had not been deathly silent in the room, they would have not heard it. Twilight trotted over to the door and opened it softly. Fluttershy came in nervously, then noticed that Twilight and Ethan were the only ones around, and was a little relieved. Oh, hello, Twilight. Who is this pony? That's Ethan, remember, Twilight said, hinting at something Ethan couldn't make heads or tails about. Ah, it's funny because he's got a tail now. Oh, I see it now. I'm sorry. The last time I saw him, he was human. No. Ethan, how is it being a pony? Well, I've just been slapped into consciousness by someone else, so I don't... it's not turning out so great.
I learned how to walk instantly, so it's pretty good.
Yeah. It's odd. I'm getting used to it, though. Good. That's wonderful. Fluttershy seemed much more comfortable knowing the pony was Ethan. See, I couldn't deal with that. Completely aside from having my genetics altered at the end of the human race, I still wouldn't, after it happened, it would be a horrific amount of psychological trauma I would have imagined.
Yeah.
So, the fact that these people can just, get up, walk around like, oh yeah, it's alright. No, it's not alright. Good, that's wonderful. Didn't know the pony was Ethan. Do you know when the others are coming over? I think they're all coming in a group. Rainbow Dash is probably going to come here first because she's so fast. well, that's a good enough explanation, I guess.
Matter-of-factly.
I said matter-of-factly. Well, I guess, yeah. If they were racing, yeah.
They're all coming over. This one is the fastest, so she will be here the first.
It's like, oh yeah, because, one of them might be closer than the other, but, the fastest one will automatically get there first, even if they're on the other side of the world. After a short pause, Fluttershy looked off into the distance, then focused on Ethan's wings. Oh, you're a Pegasus. Yeah, I guess I am, Ethan said almost boastfully. Yeah, I guess I am, Ethan said almost boastfully. I love the fact that because there's a sort of weird romance thing going on, he made him a Pegasus so that it would work perfectly with... you can see it coming a mile off. There's no twists and turns here. It's very laid bare.
Yeah, it wasn't the fact the story ends at the end of this chapter and does not continue.
Yeah.
It was a really obvious setup.
Yeah. That's great. We should fly sometime. Oh, I mean, if you're free. Then Fluttershy let out a little squeak.
Because it's Fluttershy, get it? She does that in the show when she's the shy character, so it's...
So isn't squeak spelled S-Q-U-E-A-K and not S-Q-U-E-E-K? Key? S-Q-U...
delivery service.
The point is, there should be an A where the E is. The door knocked again, breaking the increasingly awkward silence between the two ponies. The door opened, then 4 other ponies trotted in one by one. Ethan recognised the 3 of them from the camp, but the 4th was a complete mystery, and the look on his face made it obvious. The 4th pony, an orange pony with a straight blonde mane and a cowboy hat, walked up to Ethan, firmly gripped his hip and shook it. No need to be confused,
wait. I want to go back real quick, just to the beginning of that. So, Fluttershy says, that's great, we should fly together sometime, I mean, if you're free. And then there's an awkward silence. So instead of saying, oh yeah, definitely, I'd like that, or hey, no need to be shy, yeah, definitely, flying would be fun. Instead of responding at all, she's just would you like to go flying sometime? I mean, if you're free. And he's just
yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Let me get the door.
I love that. It's true. It's no dialogue at all, just complete silence.
Isn't it even they sort of implied that he was interrupted, or that he might have said something, but we didn't get to hear it. It actually states that there's an increasingly awkward silence. He just stares at her after she asks him to go flying. It's what?
No need to be confused, mister. I'm Applejack. You must be Ethan. Pleasure to make your acquaintance, the pony said. Ethan finally realised who she was. Oh, you're the pony who called me down during the dinner on the speaker, Ethan said. Oh, so he can remember that after being knocked out, but he can't remember Pinky's voice after a day.
Something tells me the author likes Applejack more than Pinky.
Fucking what? What the hell is going on? Okay, yes, sir, Pinkie Pie normally does that stuff, but she was helping Rarity prep the pony transforming doohickey, so I had to do it. Glad to finally meet you. I don't like the way that suddenly the main six are all like rocket scientists.
Well, apparently not Applejack. It's like, oh shit, Pinky is normally in charge of the thing. She has to go and help prep the super science room.
Well, it's the fact that
crap,
it's
Applejack,
like...
stop mopping the floors and get on the loudspeaker.
Yeah, it's the fact that it's like, you know, instead of hiring trained individuals, apparently the main six here they all come along, you know. They don't necessarily need all of these people, and you'd think they'd have trained professionals as well, but it's just, the main six are the elements of harmony. They can handle anything, including extremely complex procedures and the running of an entire camp.
The entire point of the Conversion Bureau in the first place was supposed to be kind of the, like, a prequel to the main series, explaining how, how there'd be no humans around. And yet... the main six all working together as like rocket scientists and doing all this shit. Like, it would make no sense if it was like supposed to be, happening, during or after the main continuity. But this is just dumb.
That means that they've been alive before they were alive.
And friends.
Yeah.
And young. And everything.
No, that doesn't make sense. The rainbow maned Pegasus flocked to Ethan, seeming to prefer flying than walking, and stared at Ethan's wings. Awesome, you're a Pegasus too. I should totally teach you how to fly. I could show you all my awesome flying tricks. Twilight got up from her desk and turned on the lights in the library. Now, Rainbow Dash, let's not rush our new friend. Everyone take a seat while I wake Spike up.
Please, Rainbow Dash, everyone needs to get a chance at the OC. He is the most important thing in our lives now.
As the six ponies quietly found the closest chairs and took a seat near Twilight's desk, they could hear a rather annoyed Twilight waking up. What Ethan assumed was Spike from upstairs. Spike! Twilight said loudly, and a thud was heard. I'm up, jeez, I'm stoned. A second voice
Twilight,
replied groggily.
You're one crazy talking horse, dude. Seriously, actually, all these characters make way more sense if you just imagine them with the .mov series voices.
Yeah, that's true.
All of the stupidity is explained away.
Ethan's here. We're going to do the thing. The thing? Spike asked, dumbfounded. Twilight let out a heavy sigh. The mission briefing. Oh, that thing. Why don't you just say so? I'll be right down. Why? I don't know. All the dialogue in this seems really awkward.
Trust me, you've seen nothing. This last bit, we're almost at the end, but this last bit, as we get into this last little section, we start getting into like the crazy xenophobia against the author's own species.
Yeah. Right, well, after replying to a message, Lightning returned to the reading. Twilight came down the ladder and a purple and green baby dragon followed, holding a pillow in one arm and his nightcap in the other. Spike took a seat next to Ethan and Twilight returned to her desk, shuffling a few papers before beginning. Something I have a problem with here is the fact that if this was written in such a way as to be portrayed from the OC's eyes, which I realise it isn't, but surely it would have been better to not reveal... Because he hasn't done it before. He's described what Applejack looked like before he knew her. So why, without seeing dragons or anything before, has he suddenly just said, oh yeah, that's Spike, he's a baby dragon?
Yeah, whatever. Makes sense.
That's even less plausible, because at least ponies exist in this world and dragons never did, so... Anyway. Where the hell am I? I keep saying that phrase because I keep losing myself. Right. Alright, I'm sure you all know why we're here. A silence followed this statement, only to be broken by Pinkie Pie. Oh, I love guessing games. Are we here to have a tea party? No, are we here to eat cupcakes? And tell spooky stories? Wait, are we here to... Applejack muffled Pinkie's speech by putting her hoof in Pinkie's mouth until she shut up. Go on, Twilight, Applejack said before removing the hoof. Thank you. Well, that was the answer I was expecting. I haven't informed anyone about what we're doing today except Spike, so why did you ask them then? If you knew they didn't know. If only to test that they didn't know. Before telling them anyway.
Because I don't.
Twilight then retrieved a map of the world from under her desk and presented it to the, well, that fell down. Presented it to the, ponies, much like she did at the seminar when Ethan first met her. Now, we all know that the humans are trying to get their people turned into ponies, so they can move in with us here in Equestria. She pointed to the small island adjacent to the east coast of the United States. Does anyone know why? Sure I did, Ramdash blurted out. It's because they didn't know how to control their greedy fat butts from getting too greedy and fat for their own good, and now they're going to dump all the people over here. Wow.
Yeah, oh, trust me, that's just the beginning.
That's like, you know, maybe a little bit of a facade over what was trying to be conveyed here, but no, now we're just going full pelt, and then this character slaughtered the human race as a sentient life form again by saying how bad they were. Slaughtered is the complete wrong word. I meant metaphorically, not physically.
No, just keep going. There is far, far dumber.
Rainbow then looked at Ethan, who was a little shocked. Present company included, of course. What? That's worth a desk flip in itself.
What?
Like, yeah, same to you. You know. Wow.
You jackass. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be present company excluded, of course, but like, wow. Wow. Go on, though. We're not even halfway there through the dumb.
It's fine, Remadash. I know us humans have trouble controlling their stubborn pride. What?
It's okay.
That everyone has
we're a racist
pride.
tirade against our race, against my species, but I understand.
What is with the whole, like, stubborn pride thing? Like, do humans actually unanimously have stubborn pride? Like, I realise that we do occasionally, but I mean, we've just been joking throughout all of this, so any stubborn pride that came up was probably us joking.
Yeah, it's
just trying to cover us.
Crazy, honestly.
Yeah.
Really?
All they want is more of everything: more money, more food, more industry, and pollution. There's no reason behind.
We want more pollution, damn it.
Yeah.
We wanted more pollution.
we want more pollution.
We want all the pollution to defeat that nefarious Captain Planet.
That they're being very over the top here, because even as far back as Greek and Roman times, people were saying that excess is not a good thing. Horace, I'm going to reference him now, just plugging a Roman author there. You know, he was, you know, I've got this knowledge, I might as well use it now. He was all about the Epicurean lifestyle. You know, like, he was always saying, stop excessively buying all of this random shit for your dinner parties that you don't need. Live a simple life. And so if they were doing it back then, yes, times have changed now, but there are still people who think that way and have done for thousands of years. So how can you unanimously say that the whole human race wants pollution and various other things which no one really needs?
Just keep going, seriously. Start again, because you need to read this entire thing all the way through in one go before we get into it.
Okay. Where the heck?
It's fine.
Does anyone know?
It's fine, Rainbow Dash. I know us humans have trouble controlling our stubborn pride. All they wanted is more of everything. More money, more food, more industry, more pollution. There's no reason behind it but greed and hatred.
Exactly, Ethan. Very well put.
Twilight added, and that's why they want. And that's why they want this happening.
No, I just have to make a point here. Just please let me make this one point. It seems like a massive, for lack of a better phrase, and I apologise for using it, but it sounds like a circle jerk. It sounds like they're sitting in a room going, now, do we know why the humans are bad? Oh yeah, they like more pollution. Very well done. You're completely correct.
Seriously, it's... Oh God! If you read it's like read 1984. It's the 2 minutes of hate. It's the throwing up a picture of, like, essentially, instead of throwing up a picture of, like, this guy who represents, like, all that is wrong with society, blah blah blah. It's instead it's throwing up a picture of a human going, like, hate, 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 scream at it, swear at it, throw things at it. This is the enemy. This you will swear at.
Let's not consider any of the nice people in the world. Let's just go with the extreme cases and say, well, look at all of these evil people.
All these people. They are fucking bastards.
Well, out of 7 billion people on the planet, I think it's a bit generous to say even a billion of them might be ridiculously evil and criminal scum.
Really, really, really ridiculously bad.
I mean, what would you say actually? Out of 7 billion people, how many of them do you think there would be criminals? Just so that my figure has something to go up
I
against.
don't know. Like, out of like all the people on the earth, I'd say like 10% might be like to be super generous. Let's say
Yeah.
10% of people would like commit crimes and do.
Well, think about it,
that.
7 billion. You know, that's a hell of a lot of people, and a lot of them all live the exact same way, which is the good way. Yes, there are a lot of people in certain areas which are worse off, and therefore a life of crime is kind of
Yeah, but like again,
expected in that area.
I'd say if you were to talk about like people who are bad, like who, if given the opportunity, would like be jackasses and who are irredeemably nasty, I'd be generous to say if I considered 5% of the human population to be that, that.
But the thing is though, that if you argued that with someone, because for instance, I found an envelope, like, you know, because people carry money to the bank in envelopes and stuff. I found while walking home through the woods on my way home from my classes, an envelope stuffed, absolutely stuffed, almost to bursting, with £50 notes. And I was thinking, how has no one picked this up yet? Because it's sitting there and there's a lot of red in there. Someone could have easily picked that up. And it was returned to the police station, and the person was contacted actually because it had contact details on the envelope, because he'd used a bank statement envelope type thing, which was good. Now, if you argued that with someone and say, clearly all humans aren't bad because I did this, they'll say, well, you're one of the very few exceptions. There's no winning.
No, they're like, well, that's not the case. Again, India, fucking Gandhi.
What about Gandhi?
The people of India and the people of England, had to be, together relatively decent in order to not murder each other and then accept, wait, yes, this is the best thing to do. Let's do this as opposed to killing one another. Like, that is proof that human beings, if pushed, can be perfectly decent.
Yeah.
But no, we're not done yet. We are not done yet, and we shouldn't have stopped for this long because it is only getting worse.
Exactly, very well
Ethan.
put.
Yeah, very well put.
Twilight added, and that's why they want this happening. Now, there's nothing wrong with turning into a pony. You lose that human nature that keeps you greedy and selfish, and you become more carefree and friendly. Let's just continue.
Keep going.
Ethan and Barry would understand this more than any pony here, since they were humans only yesterday. So what is our problem with them? Can't we just simply let them come here? I see nothing wrong with that, Rarity said, genuinely curious. Well, no one is volunteering to be ponified. People are too afraid to abandon their fleshy ape bodies to live the pony life. What is with this, like...
Keep going!
Oh my god. They feel like the process in itself is way too risky to give a shot, even though tests have been made over the past 10 years to confirm to the public that the process is completely harmless. Oh yeah, like GM crops, but people still complain about that after years of testing, so you know.
That's so stupid.
So how is this bad for us? Or do you want to make a point, or should we continue?
It's like... People are unwilling to abandon their fleshy ape bodies.
Yeah, what is this, like, master race fucking sub...
It just went from like, oh, the ponies are kind of good and the humans are sort of bad, to, oh, you pathetic meat sacks.
Wait, did she say fleshy ape bodies?
Yes, she said fleshy ape bodies.
As opposed to ponies who don't have fleshy bodies.
They're stainless steel metallic chassis that house their perfect brains.
There's a bit, like, that's literally, there's nothing to compare there, because they're the exact same thing, except the brain is in a slightly different shaped casing. And yet he's deliberately worded it just to make the humans seem worse.
It's ridiculous, but we're not even done yet. It gets worse.
So how is this bad for us, Rainbow queried. Let them stay in the manure hole they live in, and we'll just hang out with all these cool new ponies coming in. That's the problem. They don't want to stay on their, quote, manure hole. They want to live in Equestria without going through the effort of becoming a pony and abandoning their pride. But you just said that people were concerned about being changed into it and they were scared about it. Why do you assume that people don't want change because they're too proud? It's normally because they're scared. Like a lot
Yes.
of animals from like tests and things that have been done. You know, they
Also,
get
don't
scared of
forget-
change.
Don't forget, the magic is apparently like radioactive poison to the humans. Therefore, this is basically people going, "Oh fuck, living in Russia is cold and nasty. Let's all live in Chernobyl, but let us
Yeah.
not put on radiation suits because our stubborn, we are proud people who do not want to give up our right to walk around in the nude."
Yeah, exactly. It's like a nudist colony moving from Russia to Chernobyl. That's a brilliant piece of analogy there. That's the problem. Pinkie Pie piped up. But what's so bad about that? Human bodies are icky and big and ugly and mean. Humans are mean. Wait. Why are human bodies so ugly? What, you're saying that, like, other animals aren't ugly? Have you seen arachnids? They've got fuckloads of legs. And,
Also, again, like, suddenly Pinkies now are racist.
yeah,
Pinkies
they're
are
all
hardcore
racist. And I mean that in the most literal sense, because racism at the moment, as it is in this world, is racism between different ethnicities. But this is actual, full-blown, a completely different species. It's like speciesism.
It's it's speciesism, but also it's racism. It's horrible. This is terrible.
It's like,
And
let's
it's
combat
from the good
racist
guy.
humans by being racist against them.
But we were making the Nazi jokes before, and we were being assholes for the sake of comedy. This is guy trying to prove a point
Through
with
being an arsehole.
racism.
Humans are mean. Well, they are, Ethan said, but you have to put things in the human's perspective. This should be good. Lush green fields, perfect for farming. Nice neighbours. Weather always under control. Think of the money. What the fuck?
We
When
are
I
dying.
think,
We need to go somewhere to live. Think of the money opportunities.
like, what is that? There's who was it who made the triangle of needs? I can't remember the guy who made it. But the things at the bottom are like basic survival instinct stuff and money and stuff like that.
Like, not Pavlov, but like the hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
Like the first is, food, water, and like the ability to live. Then shelter. Then
Maslow's
comfort,
hierarchy of
then-
needs. Yeah.
then comfort, then existential needs, things like money and self-worth and stuff
Yeah.
like that. The
Homeostasis
first
and
is
stuff like that.
shelter, is like the ability to live. The second is shelter. Money doesn't come in till you get pretty high up.
Yeah.
But no, hold on. I need to read this again because we really shouldn't have stopped in the
Like,
middle.
morality
Don't stop
comes
in
in
the
at the
middle.
very top, along with creativity. So.
Yeah. Well, they are. Instead. Okay, hold on a second. Here's what I mean. Well, they are, Ethan said, but that you have to put things in the human perspective. Lush, green fields, perfect for farming, nice neighbors, weather always under control. Think of the money you could rake in from selling a house in Equestria. The other ponies looked at Ethan with a look of disdain. Oh, I think I got a little too into that. I'm sorry. That's not what I think. It's what they think.
Oh, so it's an us and them mentality now. Brilliant.
Way to sell out your species 30 seconds after waking up is another one, you dick. Like fucking Avatar again. It's okay. The Na'vi are so much better than humans. I had no problem betraying my species for them.
It's the fact that, like,
Anyway, no, we're not done.
But no, I really want to make a point about this thing. Why is, like, if I thought of a land where the weather was controlled and the grass was green, beautiful, you had nice neighbours and stuff like that were this nice, the first thing I would think is not, let's make money from housing developments. It would be, my God, this is like a perfect place to live. I will live here for the rest of my life.
Jesus Christ. It's like they're assuming all the humans are Lex Luthor from the Superman movies.
Basically.
Complex housing development schemes.
Okay,
Anyway,
where were we?
he is right, and that's exactly what the humans are planning on doing. They want to move into Equestria, human form and all, and ruin the sanctity and peace of mind that this land has come to embrace over the last century. Twilight was clearly getting riled up about this concern.
This conversation.
This conversation. Whoa there, Sugar Cube. Applejack said, attempting to calm Twilight down. Isn't there some kind of magic force field to protect Equestria from the humans? Twilight took a breath, regaining her composure. Yes, Applejack, but the technology the humans have made over the last few decades may be able to counteract the magic surrounding the land. Think about it. If they can turning humans into ponies, they can get humans. They can get humans here, no problem. So why are they all dying?
That's the point, actually. Why? Like, this is a group of people, as in humans, on their last legs. The human race is basically gone. There aren't giant institutes set up to technological advance anymore. There aren't, and anyway, didn't they come up with the whole ponification serum thing, whatever they're using to do it? So
also, don't forget that the humans are almost gone because they've almost all been fucking ponified, as stated in the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
They've gone from all being ponified or dead to, now there's like a billion of them and they're not actually, trying to be ponified. It's like, continuity! Keep your fucking continuity!
The continuity is bad, and the fact is that basically what they're doing is I can't really describe it. I'm sure there must be a word for it, but it's like all of the bad things that are happening to them, even if it's someone else's fault, it's being blamed on them, and then when they try and get out of the bad situation, whatever they do as a result is blamed on them as well. It's like you're deliberately doing bad things to them so that they'll do bad things, and then you can blame them for it.
That's so stupid. Okay, let's get to the end of the story, and then we can complain a little bit more.
Okay, right.
All right. Ethan could hear the collective gasp from the other ponies made, including him. He could hear himself gasping. Finally, he mustered up the strength to break the silence.
You missed a bit.
No, I didn't.
Didn't you?
No.
Oh, no, you didn't. Carry on. Sorry, my bad.
So why am I here? I'm glad you asked, Ethan. You're here because you know the ways of the humans. You know how they think. You can get into their heads in the way that us ponies just won't be able to do.
That's why you have psychologists.
What about Barry? What about Barry? Shouldn't he be here? I hope this isn't Chris's blood. He already heard all of this. In fact, he helped me bring you here. At the moment, he's in Whitetail Woods, practicing his magical abilities. I brought him not only because he's very confident in magic for a pony, let alone a former human, but because I felt like you needed a friend to accompany you, another human.
Okay.
God. So yeah, apparently you need another. They brought in Ethan because unlike all the other converted humans,
he needed a friend.
No, because unlike all the other converted humans, he can think like a human. Like all the other converted humans that there have apparently been dozens and dozens and dozens and hundreds of.
The continuity in this story and the reasoning behind the personal opinions is just crazy.
Also, don't forget, Barry was brought in because Barry was the super magical person who they needed. Ethan was brought in because, hey, we need to bring his friend in to keep Barry under control. Now it's been changed up so that Ethan's the important one because he can think like a human, and Barry was just brought along so that Ethan would have a buddy. Fuck?
This story doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. Ethan could. It's like honestly, it feels like the 5th chapter was written by someone else and just hastily tacked on to the ending. Because the rest of it, while stupid, wasn't this stupid and had a relatively stable continuity. The 5th chapter just spins out of control. Anyway, Ethan couldn't help but feel emotionally charged from that reasoning, but he was still confused as to what his job was. Do you have a plan in mind? How will we go about stopping the humans if we don't know when they will come after us?
What is with
after
this
us
thing?
He's just betrayed his race so hard. Like, he's betrayed his race harder than the dude in fucking Avatar. Do you have a plan in mind? How will we be able to blah blah blah? Well, I haven't come up with an exact plan yet. But I think what we should worry about now is you getting your pony legs. Spend tomorrow learning the ropes of being a pony, and a Pegasus at that. Rainbow Dash. I'll leave Ethan with you to teach him how to fly. You will teach him how to fly. Can I help too? Airy Pony in the room turned to look at Fluttershy in disbelief. The fuck are you doing talking, Humble?
Shut up.
Humble Fly, shut up. I mean, if it's okay, if it's okay with Ethan, that is. It's fine, Fluttershy. You can help Rainbow teach me how to fly, Ethan said reassuringly. Oh, okay, Fluttershy said with more confidence. After a short silence, Ethan got up from his chair dramatically. Let's do this. Pinkie Pie got up in a similar fashion. Oh boy, here we go! To be continued. I mean, if you don't mind.
Yeah, whatever happened to that?
It ended. The author still considers the story to be horrible. Like, the author of the story has said, yeah, this is an old shame. I kind of wish I hadn't written this.
I feel like it's one of those things where, because obviously I won't say this for fact because I don't know, but I feel like a lot of these stories where people hate the human race are written, you know, when people get annoyed about something and they go into like a fit of rage and just type up the worst possible thing they can about what they're angry about. It feels like that. It feels like someone saw an injustice on the news and was like, oh, I hate the human race, and then wrote a whole fan fiction just talking about how bad humans are in the heat of the moment.
The first 4 chapters, while they don't portray the humans in the best light, are at least relatively even-handed in terms of, like, you know, it's stupid, but at least it maintains a certain degree of continuity, and it's not that bad. Then chapter 5 is just like, by the way, the dirty rats, the dirty human rats that, you know, infest this planet are trying to invade our planet, you know, our perfect realm, must be stopped. Arg! Like, seriously, it's like, we make jokes about like the Nazi stuff in like the in the original video, like in the original stuff, when we in the first couple of chapters, but then it actually gets borderline Nazi, you know, propaganda level stuff in the 5th chapter.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, they're all happy, smiley when they're in the human world, and they're extremely two-faced, because as soon as they've converted the people they want and they get back in their own library away from prying eyes, they just, like, have a massive go at the human race. And I mean, I feel also like people always say, oh, the human race is too proud, but surely, like, it's good to have some sort of pride in your race, surely. Because otherwise you just not, well, you know, it's...
Otherwise you end up as Chechnya.
Yeah.
Chechnya. I'm really sorry, Chechnya. I really don't have anything against you. It's that I can't remember this you know, horrible person's name, and so I had to keep on referring to her as the closest thing I can think of, which is
I thought you were
Chechnya.
apologizing to the person, saying, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm not
no.
apologizing to her. I'm apologizing to Chechnya. I kind of feel sorry about continually associating them with this person.
I do feel like, you know, on the subject of human pride, you know, I guess while there are a lot of things humans have done badly, there's a lot to be proud of as a person, whether it's good or bad. We're on the top of the food chain.
If we're talking about human pride, think about this. The ponies are the you know, basically in this situation, one, they were created by humans in the first place, as far as the show goes.
Yeah.
And 2, their virtues and values are being dictated by the human who is writing the story. AKA, the guy complaining about human pride is pridefully saying that he is morally superior to the rest of the human race, and here is what proper good people are like, unlike the rest of humanity. It is pride beyond measure. It is egotism without end. This is why Chechnoi, where the hell her name is so goddamn awful. It's not just because she's, you know, she has terrifyingly, you know, cruel and mean-spirited views. It's not that she's a sexist and a racist and, you know, a speciesist. It's not that, you know, it's not even that, like, she includes graphic scenes of rape and, you know, molestation and violence for pure shock value. It's that she's a total egotist who believes that that the rest of the human race is horrible and evil and wrong, while simultaneously saying how right and perfect she is through her creations that she, you know, legitimately believes are right and perfect.
Well, that was the thing that I was thinking about, was the fact that surely the thing that they think is the best thing ever, which is MLP, obviously, that these ponies are better than humans. the fact is that the whole world was conceived inside a human mind. I'd say another big trait that would be something that humans could be proud of would be their imagination. That, so the humans aren't all bad, and I hate it when people say they are, because they clearly aren't. There are clearly good points to everything, almost everything. But
honestly, considering the works of people like some of the worst writers in the Conversion Bureau stuff, especially Chechnoy, Chatty Ants, I can only ever assume that that there's at some point the human characters that they write have that scene from that Mission Web look, the first sketch of the first episode of Mission Web look, where you have the Nazis all kind of sitting around the trench, and the one Nazi just sort of turns to the other Nazi and just goes, Hans, are we the baddies? It's just, we have these skulls on our caps, and it really seems like we might be the bad guys in all of this. It's just, they're so blatantly evil that it just becomes ridiculous.
Yeah. It reminds me actually because people, it's weird because a lot of people on the subject of Nazis and things, they always think that, everyone was in on it. But the thing is that, and they might criticize and say, well, if some of the soldiers didn't think it was right, why didn't they stand up? And it's the same sort of mentality like when you go into an assembly hall and they ask you to put your hand up if you've done whatever, and you don't want to put your hand up because no one else has put theirs up, and so no one puts their hand up. It's like that, because especially when you've got the threat of someone killing you because you're a traitor
actually, what was it?
As a catalyst.
I actually just remembered where someone basically has these exact same viewpoints and puts them away. Pause the recording for just a moment because I'm going to go and grab a book real quick. I'll be back in about a minute. Okay, hey, just need to find this page, but there's a bit from a rather famous little book that pretty much summarizes the viewpoint of these people.
Name of the book while we wait? Or?
I'll explain it as soon as I'm done, as soon as I actually find it. Why don't you keep on talking there for right now?
Well, what was I going about? Yeah, I'll just carry on just quickly about the Nazi thing. It's the idea basically that, especially with the fear as a catalyst, nobody would have known, because some of them were hardcore Nazis in the army, you think, but some of them weren't and didn't want to do it, and they were literally just following orders. They might have signed up in the army to genuinely because they wanted to protect the country and stuff like that from invaders, and then it turns out that actually they get a psychopath in charge who sends them off to war, but they can't speak out because they don't know who else has the same mindset as them, and they're worried that if they do talk about it, then they'll be found out.
I did manage to find someone who agrees with these people's viewpoints. Right. I'm going to read this quote directly. Okay, I'll explain who it's from, and as soon as I'm done reading it. Okay, so this is from a piece of fiction. Obviously, it's not real, but
I thought it was going to be like Mein Kampf or something.
No. Why would I have Mein Kampf in my house?
It's a historical artifact.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Actually, no, to be fair, I actually do have a number of books like that. I don't have Mein Kampf, but a friend of mine does.
I've read
historians. We are...
We're allowed to have those books in our houses.
Anyway, woman who ordered special dress, knitted gloves, woman killed while neighborhood looks on. I'm sure that was the woman's name. Raped, tortured, killed here in New York, outside her own apartment building. Almost 40 neighbors heard screams. Nobody did anything. Nobody called cops. Some of them even watched. Do you understand? Some of them even watched. I knew what people were then, behind all the evasions, all the self-deceptions, a shame for humanity. I went home. I took the remains of her unwashed dress and made a face that I could better look at myself in the mirror. That is from Watchmen. That is the character Rorschach, aka one of the most iconic psychopaths, literal psychopaths in fiction. This is the mentality of the people who write these stories. The mentality of a sociopath.
Great. Well, I really can't. I really want to talk to some of these people, just literally to kind of debate things in a friendly sort of way, because I want to understand why they have such little faith in humanity that it's a good thing in some respects. Like, yes, there are bad things in every stretch of life, and at the end of the day, it's kind of like, I feel like we're still animals at the end of the day. I feel like just because of our increased intelligence, it's like getting a toddler and a slightly older child. And when the toddler does something wrong, it's cute and everyone laughs at it and stuff like that. But when the older child does something wrong, he should know better and therefore he is automatically wrong and should be punished. Like, I understand that yes, we do have a better sense of morality than most other animals, but that doesn't make us perfect. No one ever said we were going to be perfect.
Hey.
Not a lot of things in life are perfect, and that's just the way it is. Whether there's an explanation for it or not, I've just come to realise that. So tough. Any final words, or is
I'm kind of debating. On the one hand, I've said most of what I want to say. I'm vaguely tempted to quote some more Rorschach at them, just to underline the point. But you know what? Read Watchmen. Read the character. Look at the character of Rorschach. Honestly, it's the mentality.
Yeah.
It is a scary mentality, and it's not one healthy people should have.
Yeah.
Anyway, next time we'll have a bit more fun with something that's less morally repugnant and probably just a lot more stupid.
Yeah.
But till then, we'll see you guys next time.
See you later.